Now, let's go more broadly into immigration numbers, because we've got the census figures that are out, and Alp Mehmet, chairman of Migration Watch, joins me. We must begin with these official figures, not by the way that everyone fills in census forms, because some people don't want to be found, but we've got the numbers we've got. We must begin with Romanians, because I said, in 2013-14, that by opening the door to Romania, I thought it was reasonable to expect that up to 250,000 could come. I mean, goodness me, you would have thought I'd advocated killing the firstborn. And a few months on, there were some figures, and Nick Robinson crowed on the BBC's Today's programme that no one's come. Who was right, who was wrong about numbers coming from Romania?
You and I were right, Nigel. In fact,
actually, we were wrong. We were wrong.
We underestimated, and we always err on the side of caution at Migration Watch, as you know.
Yeah.
And we thought it would be probably around 50,000 a year. In fact, it was a lot more than that. We've now got over 500,000 Romanians, up from 80,000 it was in 2013. It's now something like 540,000, if not more.
Yeah.
Huge increase, and it was obvious, frankly. Having lived and worked in Romania, for me, it was obvious what was going to happen. But everyone at the time said, no, it won't. Well, it did.
I'm sure many of them, by the way, are very good people, working hard, obeying the law, but that's not the point. We are talking here on the ONS, we're talking about numbers. Overall, Al, what has the increase over the last decade, over these last 2 decades, what has the increase been in the foreign-born population living here?
Well, figures issued today from the Office of National Statistics. In 20 years, the non-UK born population has gone from 4.2 million to, guess what, 10 million. 10 million people. Over the last 10 years, the ONS says it's risen by 2.5 million. Well, it depends which figures you look at, because if you look at those who were here, left briefly and came back, it actually goes up to 4.2 million. We've got an increase in population of 3.5 million over the last 10 years. Most of that is the result of immigration. That's not sensible, for goodness sake. We've got to bring it under control, not stop it, but we need to bring it under control if we want those who come here actually to integrate, to get on with life in this country. That is impossible.
And it impacts on school places. We're seeing that in Kent
today. School places, on the health service, on housing. It impacts on everything if you have population increase, largely because of immigration, at the sort of pace that we've had it. We've got to bring it under control.
Alp, I agree with you. And folks, remember that in successive manifesto after manifesto, and they've been in power now, the Conservatives, since 2010, but in manifesto after manifesto, they promised net migration would be tens of thousands a year. Instead, we hear from Alp Mehmet that up to 4.2 million extra people have come and settled in this country since the Conservative Party took power. 4.2 million. You have to ask yourself a question. When they make those pledges at election time, are they saying it because they simply think it's what you want to hear? Have they been honest and straight with you on this issue? I don't believe they have. Alp Mehmet, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Indeed. Now, moving on to a different